We are the architects of our own prisons, yet we spend our entire lives trying to renovate the cells. Think about the sheer exhaustion of your existence. From the very second consciousness floods back into your body in the morning, until the moment you drift into the unconscious void of sleep. Where does your energy go? It flows outward. It bleeds into the external world. We are obsessed with the arrangement of furniture on the deck of a ship that is sailing through a storm. We convince ourselves that there is a specific combination of external circumstances that will finally unlock the door to peace. We tell ourselves, if I can just earn that the specific amount of money, the trembling in my chest will stop, and I will finally feel safe. We tell ourselves, if I can just find that one person, that twin flame who understands the geometry of my soul, I will finally feel whole. We chase titles, accolades, and status, believing that if we can just achieve something monumental, the knowing sense of unworthiness will vanish. We spend years trying to surgically remove difficult people and uncomfortable situations from our reality, believing that a perfectly curated life is the prerequisite for a peaceful mind. And here is the tragedy sometimes: we actually succeed. We get the promotion that everyone said was impossible. We find the relationship that looks perfect on paper. We sign the deed to the dream house. We solve the catastrophic problem that kept us awake for months. The external world aligns perfectly with our desires. And in that moment of victory, something strange and unsettling happens. Yes, there is relief. There is a momentary exhale. The tension drops, but it is a phantom peace. It does not last. Like a mist burning off in the morning sun, the satisfaction evaporates. The old restlessness returns, wearing a new mask, speaking with a new voice. The anxiety that you thought was attached to your poverty simply detaches and reattaches itself to your wealth. The emptiness you thought was caused by being alone persists, even when you are lying next to someone else. No matter how drastically we rearrange the scenery of our lives, the internal weather remains stormy. We remain unsettled, still searching, still scanning the horizon for a rescue ship that never arrives, still waiting for that mythical moment when everything will finally, permanently be okay. Now, let us be precise. This is not a call to nihilism. I am not suggesting that success is irrelevant or that you should abandon your ambitions and retreat into a cave. I am not saying we should stop improving our lives, stop building our legacies, or stop caring about the suffering of the world. These things possess tangible weight and value. Financial resources can alleviate genuine suffering. Romantic love can unlock profound chambers of the human heart. Achievement can contribute to the evolution of society. But we must ask the dangerous question that threatens the very foundation of our modern existences. Why are these things, as magnificent as they are, never enough? Why does the satisfaction of desire feel like drinking salt water? Why does the peace they bring always decay? Why do we keep arriving at our intended destinations only to find that we are still homeless inside our own skin? The answer is terrifyingly simple. We have been wrong. We have been wrong from the very beginning. We have been operating with a broken navigational chart. We assumed that suffering is an injection from the outside world. We looked at our pain, our grief, our irritation, our despair, and we pointed a trembling finger outward. We said, "It is because of my boss. It is because of my spouse. It is because of the economy. It is because of my childhood. We believe the lie that if we could just alter the reflection in the mirror, the face itself would change. But over 600 years ago, a man woke up. The Buddha saw through the illusion. He saw the machinery behind the curtain of reality. He realized that suffering is not a product of events. Events are neutral. Events are just physics and chemistry playing out in space and time. Suffering is born from tanha, from craving. It is born from the mind's desperate, hysterical grasping at what is pleasant, and its violent, fearful pushing away of what is unpleasant. Suffering does not end by changing the world. It can only end where it begins. This is not a philosophy for intellectual entertainment or dinner party conversation. This is a survival manual. This is a map out of a labyrinth you didn't even know you were trapped in. You have felt this pattern vibrating in your own bones, even if you lack the language to describe it. You think, if I just had financial freedom, I wouldn't worry. So you work yourself to the bone, you accumulate wealth, and suddenly you are terrified of losing it, or you worry about inflation, or you worry that people only like you for your money. The worry didn't disappear, it just shape-shifted. You think if I just had a partner who truly saw me, I wouldn't feel this cosmic loneliness. So you find them, and for a month, it is bliss. But then, the loneliness visits you while you are sitting, right next to them on the couch. You realize they cannot carry the weight of your soul for you. You think, if I could just reach the summit of this mountain, I would be enough. You reach the peak, look around for 5 minutes, and immediately look for a higher peak. Circumstances are fluid like water, but suffering is persistent. It adapts, it evolves, it waits in the shadows. If suffering truly came from circumstances, then changing your circumstances would permanently delete suffering. But it doesn't. Not permanently. Not completely. So, we must descend into the depths. Where does suffering actually come from? The Buddha's answer was radical. It cut through the cultural conditioning of his time, and it cuts through ours today. In the opening verses of the Dhammapada, he declared with absolute authority, mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief, they are all mind, wrought. If with an impure mind a person speaks or acts, suffering follows him like the wheel follows the foot of the ox. Notice the precision of the metaphor. The wheel follows the ox. The burden follows the beast. He did not say the road creates the suffering. He did not say the weather creates the suffering. He pointed to the mind itself, to the engine of craving, to the mechanism of reaction. It is not what happens to you that destroys you, it is how you relate to what happens. Consider a laboratory experiment of the human spirit. Imagine two people receiving the exact same criticism, spoken by the exact same voice, in the exact same tone. The first person hears the words. They pause. They filter the information. They extract the truth that can help them grow, and they discard the malice like a used wrapper. They go home, eat dinner with a light heart, and sleep deeply. The second person hears the exact same sound waves, but instantly their mind catches fire. They replay the sentence on a loop for 3 weeks. They construct elaborate cathedrals of resentment. They lie awake at 300 am, rehearsing counter, arguments that will never be spoken. They poison their own blood with cortisol and adrenaline. Same words, same event, vastly different realities. So where is the suffering located? It is not in the words. The words are just vibrations in the air. The suffering is in the narrative. It is in the space between the experience and the reaction. When the chaos of life unfolds, when you lose your wallet, when you are insulted, when the medical test comes back positive, there is a natural, biological process that triggers. First, there is contact. Your senses collide with the world. Then, almost instantaneously, there is feeling vedana. This is crucial. This is a flash of sensation, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. This feeling is automatic. It is the biology of being alive. You cannot stop it, and the Buddha never asked you to become a stone. But then the tragedy occurs. From that raw feeling, craving erupts. If the feeling is unpleasant, the mind screams, "No! Get this away from me!" If the feeling is pleasant, the mind screams more! Don't let this end. This craving hardens into clinging. You grab onto the story. You solidify your identity as the victim or the victor. You judge. You resist. You fight reality. And from that clinging, the full, crushing weight of suffering unfolds. The initial unpleasant feeling was just a spark. It was a moment of discomfort. But the craving and clinging, that is the gasoline you poured on the spark. That is what turned a moment of pain into a decade of resentment. That is what transformed a single event into a defining trauma. Let us be very clear. The Buddha was not a nihilist. He was not saying that external conditions are irrelevant. Illness hurts. Betrayal stings. Poverty grinds the spirit. These are not illusions to be dismissed with a spiritual bypass. But there is a profound distinction between pain and suffering. Pain is the inevitable friction of existence. It is the cost of having a nervous system. Suffering is what you add on top of the pain. Suffering is the resistance. Suffering is the "why is this happening to me?" Suffering is the endless mental replay. Suffering is the identification with the pain. The formula is simply pain x resistance suffering. If suffering is manufactured in the factory of the mind, then that is the only place it can be dismantled. Not by conquering the world, an endless and impossible task, but by conquering the mind. The Buddha's great discovery was not just the diagnosis, it was the cure. He discovered the breach in the wall. Remember, the chain contact leads to feeling. Feeling leads to craving. Craving leads to clinging. Clinging leads to suffering. In our unconscious state, this chain moves at the speed of light. It feels seamless. Someone insults you, and you are instantly angry. There seems to be no choice. But the Buddha slowed down time. He saw the gap. There is a micro moment, a tiny, luminous gap between feeling and craving. The feeling arises automatically. You cannot control the weather. But the craving, the reaction, that is where your freedom lies. In that fraction of a second before the mind latches on, there is a space for a different possibility. This is the domain of awareness. This is the kingdom of mindfulness. In the Satipatthana Sutta, the instructions are deceptively simple. When experiencing a pleasant feeling, one knows, I am experiencing a pleasant feeling. When experiencing an unpleasant feeling, one knows, I am experiencing an unpleasant feeling. That is it. Just know, just see. It sounds too simple to be a superpower, but consider the alternative. Normally, an unpleasant feeling arises, and without that gap, the mind instantly begins weaving a narrative of doom. This shouldn't be happening. I am a failure. They hate me. By the time you wake up, you are drowning in the story. But when you apply the laser of awareness, when you simply note, an unpleasant feeling has arisen, you create a sacred distance. You are no longer the feeling. You are the witness of the feeling. There is you the awareness, and there is it the sensation. Two things, not one. In that separation, the chain is broken. The automatic pilot is disengaged. You step out of the river and stand on the bank. Someone triggers your anger. Without awareness, you become the anger. You are possessed. You speak words that burn bridges. You create karma that binds you for years. With awareness, you feel the heat in the chest. You hear the mental urge to attack. You simply know that anger is present. You do not feed it. You do not fight it. You watch it. And here is the alchemy. When you observe an emotion without feeding it with thoughts, it starves. It loses its momentum. Anger that is not fed with a narrative cannot survive. Fear that is met with open, non-judgmental presence dissolves. It rises like a wave, it crests, and it crashes back into the ocean of consciousness. This is not suppression. Suppression is violence against the self. Suppression is pushing the beach ball underwater. Eventually, it will explode in your face. This is acknowledgement. This is radical acceptance. Yes, this pain is here, but you are not owned by it. The Buddha was linguistically precise. He never said, "I am angry." He said, "There is anger." When you say, "I am angry," you fuse your identity with a temporary emotional state. You make the cloud into the sky. When you say there is anger, you remain the sky vast, open, untouched by the storm passing through it. This is the true meaning of changing your mind. It is not about positive thinking. It is not about forcing yourself to be happy. It is about shifting your relationship to your own experience. It is shifting from being the victim of your thoughts to being the observer of them. When I say, change your mind, change your world, I am not speaking metaphorically. In the Dhammapada Sutta, the Buddha said, "It is just within this fathom, long body, with its perception and mind, that I declare there is the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the path leading to the cessation of the world. The entire universe you experience is a projection of your consciousness. You have never experienced a world outside of your own mind. The world out there is always filtered through the lens of your perception. You might argue, but the mountain is real. The mountain exists whether I see it or not. Yes, the physical atoms exist, but your experience of the mountain, is it a majestic challenge, a dangerous obstacle, or a heap of rocks? That reality is entirely constructed by your mind. Consider the universal plague of social anxiety, the fear of judgment. We spend enormous amounts of life force managing our avatar. We walk on eggshells, terrified that a single wrong word will lead to exile. We are slaves to the opinions of others. In this state, the world is a courtroom, and everyone is a judge. It is a hostile, draining world. But when the mind changes, the world changes. Praise comes. You feel the warmth. You smile. But you do not cling. You do not drink it like an addict. You know it is just sound. Criticism comes. You feel the sting. You see it, but you do not pull out the knife and stab yourself with it. You do not spiral. The praise and criticism still exist in the physical world, but they have lost their power to enslave you. They become mere weather phenomena. You become sovereign. This is what the Buddha meant when he described the mind as luminous pabasara. The nature of the mind is pure, radiant awareness. It is only darkened by the dust of visiting defilements. When you stop adding the dust, the light returns. And finally, this transformation bleeds into your actions. This is the law of karma. When your mind is ruled by fear, your actions are small, defensive, and manipulative. When your mind is ruled by clarity, your actions are bold, compassionate, and authentic. You stop performing, you start living. So the strategy is twofold. First, the immediate alchemy. When you stop clinging, the texture of your reality changes instantly. The prison door unlocks. Second, the gradual evolution. When your actions stem from wisdom rather than wounds, your external circumstances naturally align with your new vibration. But knowing this is not enough. You can memorize the menu, but it will not nourish you. You must eat the food. The Buddha did not teach a philosophy to be debated in universities. He taught a practice to be lived in the trenches of daily life. This path requires the warrior-esque spirit. It requires diligence. It requires showing up for yourself when you are tired, when you are angry, when you are hopeless. 5 minutes of true observation is worth more than 10 years of reading books about mindfulness. There will be days when you fail. There will be days when the old patterns sweep you away like a tsunami. Do not judge yourself. The moment you realize you have been swept away, that realization is the awareness returning. That is the victory. The Buddha's final words were a challenge. You yourselves must strive. The Buddhas only point the way. No one can save you but you. No teacher, no savior, no algorithm can do the work observing your own mind. The new world is not waiting for you in the future. It is not a destination on a map. It is hiding inside this very breath. It is waiting in the gap between the stimulus and the response. It is available right now. Change the mind and watch the world transform before your eyes.